One of the first modifications that most people make to their F-150s after doing wheels and tires is changing out the front bumper. And that's exactly what I did when I installed this Raptor style bumper on my F-150. But when I was chasing style, I lost out on functionality. I lost my lights, and it's made of this thinner like sheet metal. It's not very durable. Well, today we changed that.
Luckily, our friends over at Hooke Road gave us this bumper to give it a try. This particular bumper is a fraction of the cost of other aftermarket bumpers with similar capabilities. So we're gonna find out whether this is worth your hard-earned money or is it a case of you get what you pay for.
Let's get it installed.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's lay this down. There we go. All right. Starting to unbox the Hooke Road bumper, and first thing I notice is the packaging could be a little bit better. Looks like the bumper's already excited to get installed because it's poking out of the box. So this looks like possibly the winch plate, so that's where your winch will go. Okay, so here's one of the corners to the modular bumper. The lights looks pretty good. Get that out of the way. This looks like one of the these are the corner parts of the bumper. This is the main middle part of the front bumper. There's like a little front hoop on this guy. So I think it's gonna go like right there.
Like a bull bar?
Kind of, yeah. And then this is the other corner with lights as well. So we have our corners. So this is what was sticking out that got all scratched up. Oh, you know what? This might just be like a mounting bracket. So not a big deal, but still, you don't want all your pieces scratched up in shipping.
The tools that Hooke Road said we would need were a 19mm socket wrench, an 18mm wrench, a 13mm wrench, and a 5mm hex socket wrench. In addition, we actually also used a 14mm wrench as well as an adjustable wrench, just so that way we could get better grip on the backs of some of these bolts. So another thing that I've noticed is all of the hardware pieces are all in one bag, so it is gonna take a extra 5 to 10 minutes to sort through all these, make sure we have everything we need. It would be nice if they were in separate bags, but we'll take the extra time to make sure they're separated correctly. So the first step we have to do is we actually have to remove the factory bumper, in this case the aftermarket bumper.
That one's like not even on. Here, we gotta come down here. Okay. Yeah, let's take it over there if you want to grab. Hold on, don't pull it back. There we go, towards me. Nice. There's that.
After we removed the aftermarket bumper off of Devin's truck and we removed those recovery points, it is now time to actually build the bumper. And I will tell you, just taking these out of the bags, these individual pieces probably weigh more than Devin's original aftermarket bumper easily. They are super heavy, super sturdy, and honestly, it even looks like the way that they go together seems more sturdy than what he had before. So I'm actually excited to see how this all goes. So first step is I actually have to take this corner piece right here and attach it to the middle piece right here. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. The instructions say that we're gonna use these bolts, which are the shorter of the big hex bolts. We are using 2 flat washers per bolt, as well as a nut and a locking nut. So the instructions didn't really say how to place these washers. So I'm gonna go with what makes the most sense. I'm gonna take a bolt, put a washer. I will put that, if I don't drop it, I will put that through this hole right here, connect to this piece, and then I will do the locking, I'll do a washer, locking nut, and then the nut. So let's see if that works, because I'm not sure. Just hand tightening it so it stays stable while I do the last piece. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna tighten it. These bolts are 19mm, so I'm using that socket wrench again with the 19mm, and I am gonna have to use the adjustable wrench in order to hold the nut on the back, so that way I can make sure I get a nice tight fit. the next step for the bull bar, we are using these hex bolts right here with a washer. And then on the other side, it's going to be the lock nut as well as the nut right here. So this hex key, this hex bolt on the top is a 14 millimeter. So I'm gonna be using a 14 millimeter wrench to hold that in place. And then the nut is actually a 13 millimeter. So I'm gonna be using a 13 millimeter wrench right here to hold the nut into place while I twist in the bolts. So that's what I'm gonna be working on right now. So I just put the bolt in with the washer. And then on the bottom side, what I'm doing is I'm putting on the lock nut and the normal nut, and I'm hand tightening it as high as I can. I tried to use a socket wrench on this, but there just wasn't enough space in here to be able to have a socket wrench. So a normal wrench will just have to do. Okay, so we installed the main body of the bull bar, but now we have these side pieces right here that we're gonna go ahead and install just like that, roughly. And what we're gonna be using is actually the same tools we used for the main body of the bull bars.
So I'm gonna hold it here for you.
Yep.
And then, nope.
If you did not have small fingers.
You'd be out of luck.
Oh yeah, no, you'd probably have to take out the lights.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, because you're working above them right now?
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Next side.
Next side. Did I get it? Got it. So the next step is we're gonna be installing the winch plate. Now there is an optional step about securing a piece that you would use if you had the winch power box. However, because we don't have a winch currently, we're not gonna do that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this piece right here and we're gonna go ahead and put it in here. I'm gonna try my best to line up the holes. Okay. I'm gonna do it actually in both sides really quick. Okay. Alrighty, and now I have these bigger hex bolts. These bigger hex bolts that we're using a locking nut as well as a washer. And this is gonna go through the winch plate up into the plate up here and secure it into place. Alrighty, so what I'm doing now is I'm actually installing these brackets right here. In the instructions, it says to do these after the bumper's already lifted and partially bolted in. However, the more I looked at it, the more I felt like it was gonna be really difficult to bolt in or to screw in this bolt right here with the bumper up against here. So I decided to do it beforehand just to prevent some weird trying to get in between the bumper and the truck. So you can also see I have it hanging underneath right here, which is what I'm gonna do on this side. So what I am using with this is the button head socket cap bolt screws, as well as a washer, a lock nut, and a nut. And I have to put this in with a hex key, which is what I'm doing here. And then underneath, I'm holding it with a 13 millimeter wrench to make sure everything gets nice and tight. So I'm gonna be doing that now. Gonna do the bolts and the washer on top. And then the locking nut and the nut on bottom. And I'm just hand tightening it. And even though I'm gonna use the hex key and the wrench, I'm still not gonna tighten it fully because we might still need some adjusting once we get the bumper up attached to the vehicle. Okay, that's where I'm gonna stop.
So we're gonna work on wiring up the fog lights in the bumper, and it just comes with a black and red wire per light. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect the two fog lights together. I'm gonna splice them together to a factory style connector. So we're gonna take our 2 reds from the 2 fog lights on the passenger side. We're gonna splice them together to this 1 red wire, and then we'll do the same thing with the negative. So I'm gonna do that through soldering. You could also use connectors, but I like soldering because it's a solid connection. I won't have to worry about it. So that's what we're gonna work on right now. If we're looking at our positive wires from each of these fog lights, I need a little bit more material. So I'm gonna use these wire strippers right here. There we go, that's what I wanna see. That gives me more wire to kind of work with here. So I'm gonna do that to the other side too. I'm gonna twist these together. So I'm gonna connect these to this connector that I did get on Amazon, and I'll leave a link down below if you're interested. But I also added some heat shrink. So once I solder these connections, I will be able to put the heat shrink over the connection and secure it. I'm gonna take a little bit more off here. Right there, there we go. Wrap these down and around like that. If I can get it to stay like that. I'm stripping off the black because now we're going to connect the negative to the negative wires on the fog lights here. There we go. Okay. So that should be good enough. I'm not a professional, okay? As you can probably already tell. Yeah. This side is going together much better. There we go. That's what I like to see. So I'm gonna take the spliced wires. I'm gonna slide the heat shrink over both now. Let's see. I went with a larger size to make sure it would kind of accommodate both. Yeah, there we go. So there's that one, and then the red. There we go, nice, okay. Nice and solid, so now I'm gonna do this to the other side. Are you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. That's not too bad, it's not too bad at all. Oop, watch that.
I'm trying here. Okay, that one's hand tightened on there.
Okay, that's gotta be good.
Okay.
Okay.
There was 2 brackets that we put on earlier that are now just in the right spot, so those are just an extra secure to make sure the bumper's in place. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put them on underneath right here on the inside, and that'll help to secure the bumper. And now we have the final step where we're gonna go ahead and connect the fog lights to the factory port right here. And it clicked in. There you go.
All right, let's test it.
Let's test it.
I am super impressed with the bumper in terms of quality for what they're asking price-wise. We've got the fog lights, and I hooked them up so we have a factory-style connection. We're ready to add a winch, and it's pretty stout. My old Raptor one used to move quite a bit. This one isn't going anywhere. There's adjustability, so we were able to get it nice and tight and fit. It looks good. One of my biggest concerns was the fact that it wouldn't wrap around to the fender well here, and it does, so it looks good. So overall, if you're looking for a front bumper to beef up your F-150, definitely check out Hooke Road's website because they probably have a bumper that meets your needs. And hey, they also have rear bumpers too, so you might want to check those out.
Right now, they're even offering a 5% discount if you use the code AutoJourney at checkout.
We will catch you guys on the next video.
Bye, guys.